Hey guys, today we are going to be doing a preview for Escape Master. This is going to be coming to Kickstarter very soon. As of now, the launch date is June 18th. Now, the publisher is Zilly Creative Works. Zach and Lily put together this here game. And if you want to find out more info about it, head on over to the landing page, playescapemaster.com. We'll have it here and a link in the description below.
Yep, so this is a paid preview, just so that you guys know that. Also, the type of game that this is, it's a real-time speed card game that's definitely family weight. So let's take a look at it right now.
Escape Master is a fast-paced, action-packed game that requires mental speed and agility. Whether you are a mouse, teen, lumberjack, vapor ninja, robot, or average Joe, be the first escape leader to guide your party to freedom while committing the fewest blunders and dodging the traps laid out for you by other players. Fantasy and classic speed game mechanics combine to create a thrilling and competitive game experience you won't soon forget. So this game is going to be played in multiple rounds. At the start of each round, you have 10 cards, unless you have some leader ability that does some kind of adjustment. And so everyone has 10 cards to start. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing out cards into various stacks, trying to get rid of your cards as fast as possible. So you're going to be having, like I said, multiple stacks, and you're going to be playing cards on stacks in ascending or descending, and it can kind of vary back and forth. So for instance, you could go play a 1, then a 2, then back to a 1, then 2, then 3, then so it can go up and down and oscillate. And the starting cards for the stacks can either be the 7 cards or wisdom cards, which are also 7s.
So the game has some basic cards, and then it also has some special cards. So the basic cards are the 1 through 10s and the face cards. And that's what you're using to kind of work your way up and down. You're playing one number and then sequential numbers and on and on and on. Basically what you're trying to do is get rid of all your cards. And as you're doing this, you can be working also to kind of wrap around. Kind of like, if you got a J, Q, K, you can go all the way to a 1, and then you can bring it right back to a K. So it kind of wraps its way around the whole stack, or the whole sequence of cards.
Then you can also play 2 cards together, so the sum of 2 cards in your hand equal the what the playable card could be, and those 2 cards have to be the same suit. So if I had a 2 and a 5 of the same suits, I could have that be a 7 value for the playable card.
However, whichever card is showing on top, that's the card you have to play off of. So depending on if you played the 5 on top, then you could only play a 4 or a 6. But if you played that 2 on top, then you could only play a 1 or a 3.
Right. And you can also play 2 face cards together as 1 card. So if you had 2 quiet cards, lump them together, boom, and they're down.
Quick way to get rid of an extra card. So definitely something you want to do. Also, you've got the wisdom cards, which are worth 7, but if you put 2 of them down together, you can basically start with any number. So it's essentially a wild stack.
Yes. So those are the basic cards. Now, there's also special cards. There are things such as trap cards, escape cards, and dead end cards. And everyone's going to be having an action pile and a history pile. The action pile is where players can play trap cards to other players, which are basically going to hinder them in some way. For instance, there might be a card that makes a player only play in ascending order, and there's stuff like that. Then there's also escape cards, which a player can put on one of those trap cards, basically nullify it, and then both of those go face down into your history pile.
And then there's the dead end cards, which essentially you put it on top of one of the stacks that are out there in the middle of the table, and you can no longer play anything.
And that can be really annoying.
Which can get pretty frustrating.
I know. We played against one of our friends, and he did that a couple times. I was like, oh, why'd you do that? I needed that stack. The first player to play their last card screams "Escape Master," and that will trigger the end of the round. You cannot play any more cards after that has happened.
Yep, and once that has happened, all of the cards that you have remaining in your hand, you get 1 blunder for every card that you have in your hand.
And in between these rounds, there's going to be a story deck, which is a way to get potential abilities. It's like a little catch-up mechanic. And if you get several of them, then you're going to be getting experience points to unlock potential other abilities like the beast mode of your leader and such.
And the way that the game ends completely is when somebody reaches 30 blunders. So somebody reaches 30 blunders, well, that person has lost because the goal is to have as few blunders as possible. So once somebody reaches that, everybody else counts up all their blunders, and whoever has the least is the winner.
And there's also some variations for player count you can do, and there are team games. And there's going to be more, such as Chaos Expansion, which truly does add more chaos. There's more different cards to play and abilities, and it can be chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, this is still prototype, and so things are still subject to change. So that's a quick overview of how the game works. And now, if you do not like speed games, this one is definitely not for you. But if you do like some real-time speed games, hey, this one might be for you.
Yeah, this is definitely kind of speed game, quick thinking, kind of reaction time, stuff like that. It's interesting.
It's definitely a lighthearted, family weight game. So if you like those types of things, this might be one for you to try out.
Yeah, and at least as the packaging is right now, it's, a nice compact kind of game, so that family fun could probably travel with you somewhere. Yeah. Obviously, this is not the final product, so we don't know if that's going to change.
Yes. But I know this is a paid preview, but I gotta say, I do love the art and illustrations in the. I love it. I think it's great.
It's really,
especially the Vapor
really
Ninjas.
Yeah,
I
Vapor
really
Ninjas.
like the Vapor Ninjas. They're cool.
So the artwork for us definitely works.
Yes. So keep in mind that this is going to launch on June 18th, and go ahead and check out the landing page, playescapemaster.com, for more information and to subscribe and follow along. And yeah, guys, that wraps it up. And we really appreciate Zilly Creative Works for sponsoring this video, and we will see y'all on the next one.